if most or all of the quarterbacks, the top quarterbacks that are projected to be round one guys in this draft, go back to school, how does that affect the draft?
Who was that from, Dan?
Oh, that was from Luke.
Luke, you got me thinking on this one, man.
It's a very interesting question.
It's a very interesting question. Because Ty Simpson, they're building something. They're rolling at Alabama. Two of his best friends on the team that they've talked about are going to be back next year because they're not eligible, including Ryan Williams. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if he's back, and we all agree that Dante Moore is super talented and would very easily be a high pick this year, but really he's not ready. And the more scouts I talk to are like, yeah, he needs another year. And then you look beyond that, you've got.
Hold on, though. I hear you about Dante Moore. He's going in the top 10 picks if he comes out, though, right?
Yes, but I'm saying when it comes to January, you got till January 15th is the declaration date. So like, as the season's winding down, or they're making a run in the playoff, and that gets extended if you are still in the college football playoff. You get like a 1 week extension, I think it is, based off.
Just give him more, but yeah,
the end of the season. But when you're making those decisions, whenever it is, late December, early January, whenever that is, that process is for Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, or Lenora Sellers, or for Fernando Mendoza or John Mateer. You can argue that just about all of them are going to get from more than just the coaching staff. If they're asking the committee, it won't be the committee, the advisory committee, because they'll have to say, yeah, probably first rounder. But there's going to be a lot of people, if they're surrounding themselves with the right people, saying you could really benefit, forget where you get drafted, of going back to school for another year. Okay?
Yeah, no, I agree.
My point in saying all of this is, what happens if Ty Simpson, let's say maybe Fernando Mendoza, he's like 30 starts, right? Tracking for like close to 35 starts if the season plays out the way we think it's going to for Indiana and he stays healthy. That's a number where it's like, we've seen enough ball. Love to see another. I personally think Mendoza could really benefit from one more season. But you could understand that decision. With Mateer and his thumb injury, and draft stock falling, and then Ty Simpson with 8 starts at this point, and with Dante Moore, but I don't know, 15 starts,
something like that, yeah,
12, 13 starts, whatever it is, and with Lenora Sellers, he'll have like 20 plus starts when it's all said and done this year, but still developing. We could see maybe 3 or 4 of those 5 guys return. So it begs the question. I just talked to you. The Saints may be at number 1 if the draft order were right now. Here are the teams that could be drafting quarterback and where they'd be drafting if the draft were to be held next week. The Saints at number 1, the Jets at number 2, the Browns at number 4, the Dolphins maybe at number 5, and then the Raiders at number 8. Plus you have the Rams in there as a wild card to maybe try to trade up with those 2 first-round picks. So you're talking about 6 teams right there, could be drafting early, that need a quarterback. What if it's just Mendoza? What if those 4 guys go back? Then you got Garrett Nussmeier, and then a massive drop-off. And Nussmeier right now isn't even in my top 32. I guess that's my point. It's why it's such a fascinating question, because you will see teams that are like, yes, it sucks that we had a bad season, but we're finally we're in the top 5. We've got potentially a crack at the first or second quarterback, and the first or second quarterback third quarterback could have landed you Jaden Daniels or Drake May a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Crazy. Yeah, I'm looking at it from the extremes. Okay, let's look at the extremes right now. Tell me whether or not, if you think all of these guys come out, tell me. Is it likely or probable or more likely than not that these guys go in the top 10 picks? Lenore Sellers, Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza. Okay.
Done. That's where the list ends. Those 4 guys.
So that means 4 of the top 10 picks would be quarterbacks. So it changes
everything.
It changes everything. Now, the next question
that's why this is no offense. Like, there's amazing question. This one's the most intriguing, fascinating to me because yeah. And if the flip side, Now you got 4 or 5 teams or 6 teams that I just talked about that really need a quarterback. And if 4 of those 5 guys we just mentioned go back to school, only one of them gets it.
So I will say this. The next part of the question is, does that inflate the other quarterbacks and do guys end up in the top 10? I think he asked if they're going to end up in the top 10 that they shouldn't have. I don't think that'll happen. I do think players will be inflated. I think
Justin Dart just went to a team that had to trade back into the 25th pick, was it? The
right.
Giants?
I could see some guys going late first, like a Nussmeier.
Yes.
I see them getting inflated
it bumps
a little
Nussmeier up.
And Beck might get inflated a little bit, but it's not going to move guys into the top 10.
I don't know. When you're not going in the first 40 picks of the draft at quarterback, you're considered a backup, and prove us otherwise. And we'll address this in the 3rd, 4th round range.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, but I think it will inflate someone and maybe a couple of guys, but it won't inflate them to the point where they're going to move.
It is the question of the 2026 NFL draft. How many of these guys who do not fit the current standard, the bar of, and Parcells was 30 starts. It's now like I gave you the list of 19 guys in the NFL that are considered solid to great starters that had 36 starts. Okay. So let's call that bar 36 because a lot of guys coming out now are in the 40s, 50s, and 60s in terms of NFL starts. So armed with that recent information and the history of quarterbacks busting and failing and disappointing with minimal numbers of starts, these guys are going to have to swim against that grain and come out and say, I'm ready regardless. And they'll be drafted high, but will they be ready? This is the biggest story of the 26th draft. No questions about it.